Welcome to this week's Dream Car judging video here at BOTB. We'd now like to hand over to today's lawyer from Onside Law who'll oversee the proceedings.
My name is Lily Elliott from Onside Law and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditing company as ETS. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning, my name's Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer.
Hello, my name's Wendy Martin. I've previously played for Tottenham Hotspur Ladies and currently play beach soccer for England and Team GB.
Good morning, my name is Leo Donnellan. I'm an ex-professional football player and been with Chelsea, Fulham and Leyton Orient.
Good morning, my name's Hugh Gilroy. I'm a referee, mentor, tutor and observer.
Hi, my name is Kieran Fitzgibbon. I've played football for more than 30 years and I'm also a referee.
My name's Liam Walsh. I'm a retired referee, currently an FA observer and head coach for the Middlesex Referees Academy.
Hi, I'm Joe Thompson, ex-professional footballer and now your MUTV presenter.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white across is the calculated average of the 7 individual selections.
Thank you very much, Lily. Good morning, all. Before I draw some lines in, Kieran, I'm going to come to you. You're right in the middle of everybody's there, your orange cross that's magnified. If you could explain what you're seeing in the photograph, where you think the trajectory of the ball is, and then how you reached your decision, please.
Yes, thank you, Matt. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
I think the ball is coming from us as we're looking at it, going away from us towards the player in blue and black, towards where he's looking. I think he's focused on the ball, which is just above him. I think there's been contact made where we can see a bit of contact with his left arm against the player in white. I think the player in white is more looking towards the player in black and blue's head, because when I tried to put the eye lines in, I couldn't really see an exact match for where they are, but that could indicate to me the ball is quite close to the player in black and blue, which is why I've placed my cross quite close, like many of the other judges. I think he's focused on it. I also tried to work out whether the ball was coming in at pace or just dropping in. Difficult one, this for me, because I think if it's coming in at pace, he's just going to flick it on. Or if it's dropping, he might be turning his body to try and control it with his chest. And I'm not sure from his body position, as it's a little bit sideways on, exactly what he's doing there. But I thought that given the player in white is looking just above the other player's head, I thought the ball was quite close and quite imminent. I slightly favour the flick on from the player in black and blue, but I'm not certain either way. But I took his eye line as I took lines from both of his eyes directly upwards and felt the ball was just above where he was and how close he was going to play it. And that's why I placed my cross in that position.
Okay, thanks very much, Kieran. So I'll draw some lines up first from this player in black and blue. We have Joe's ever slightly to the left, and then there's a couple of judges out to the right. So quite a narrow band up. And again, a fairly narrow band up from the player in white behind, but a little bit wider. So Wendy, I'll work my way up, I think, today. So I'll come to you next. Yours is the green cross there that's magnified ever so slightly closer to the player in blue and black. What's your, how did you see this?
I think it's a ball dropping in. I do think the player in black and blue is favourite to win the ball. You can see he's got his left arm, his hand is actually grabbing the shirt of the player in the white and holding him off, I think, just to protect the ball. I think I've put it a little bit closer to the player because his cheeks are puffed and he looks like he's imminently going to be sort of making contact with the ball. I was unsure whether or not it would be sort of a little flick with the head, or actually is he holding the player off to try and allow the ball to drop in onto his chest and actually bring it down. So I was a bit undecided there, but I did think either way that the contact was quite imminent and it was close to the ball because he's quite solid, he's holding the player off, he's in a good sort of position, and the cheeks are puffed and he's clearly focused on the ball.
Yeah, thank you. Just above yours and to the right is Liam. There's your dark purple cross. Do you agree with that?
Yes. Good morning, Matt. Thanks. Yeah, basically, you know, I think that the guy in the blue shirt, he's cheeks are puffed out. He's got two good eyes on the ball. To support him, to support the evidence, these eyes are slightly crossing there as he's focusing through the ball for me. So that again backs up what Wendy was saying, that, you know, the ball is quite imminent for me. He's leaning slightly, so that's how I've got my pathway that way. But regards to the guy in white, I think he again, going back, you know, what Kieran mentioned, that, you know, he's looking just over the top. And again, I've got to agree with that comment as well. I think he can see through the centre of the ball, and that's what the competition's about. And we remind ourselves from that from time to time that So again, he's got two good eyes on the ball. You know, he's upright, brows furrowed, and that's where my lines have intersected this morning.
Okay, thank you. Moving a little bit further up, and to the right is yours, Hugh. Yours to the right of Kieran's, and just above Liam's. You're the blue cross. What did you see?
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, very similar for me. Pair in blue at the front, I think, is the favourite, as has been said. Furrowed brow, puffed cheeks. I think he's got a good position. He's set. Player in white, kind of unusual with the one arm out. Don't know if he's kind of mid appeal because his shirt's being held, but I don't think he's favourite at all to play the ball. I think he's just on looking. So for me, it's imminent given the pair in blue and his facial expression. So I think it's just going to drop, and I felt he was going to head it, but I can see the comments about him bringing it on the chest. I just felt he was set and focused on it, ready to head it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. And then moving up and to the left is yours, Joe, the light blue cross there. It was slightly further to the left than your colleagues. What was your interpretation of it all?
Yeah, good morning, Matt. Morning, judges. I know a few have mentioned the two kind of scenarios. I see it as possibly a striker backing in from a long ball. Like everyone's mentioned, puff cheeks, furrowed brow. That do think the contact's imminent. Brace too. I'm going to say chest it down. And that's why I put it slightly off to the left, because I think his left arm naturally going into what I would see as a defender. And like Hugh mentioned, might be appealing that his shirt's being pulled. But he's braced himself to open out that right shoulder to potentially chest it down. I think obviously we've got four good eyes, so I took my lines up from there. But I just noticed his head slightly tilted, and I do think he's trying to chest it down and make play happen. So that's why I placed my cross there.
Great, thank you. And then moving up to the last two, I'll go to you firstly for my own. You're just slightly over to the right and a little bit higher. How did you reach your decision?
Yeah, hi, Matt. Yeah, firstly, I think the player in white, I think with his right arm, he's trying to sort of wrap himself around the player in blue, just to sort of give him no space. So I think the ball's dropping down, and I think the player in blue is going to probably chest the ball. I think he's trying to hold him off. There's a chance he could flick it on, but personally, I think he's going to chest the ball. Player in white, he's got a clear view of the ball, but I don't think the player in white can head the ball. And that's why I think with his arm, he's just trying to close down the space and get as tight as he can. And that's why I think the player in blue's controlling the ball with his chest. I think we've got a good view of the player in blue's eyes, and I think he's pretty much looking directly above himself as he's trying to hold the player off.
Yeah, thank you. And last is my own, ever so slightly higher than everyone else's. I took a view that the ball was dropping into the player in blue and black, and there's, I think Kieran said at the outset, ball's coming from us into the photograph. And I didn't think it was coming with huge pace, just because of the way the two players were tussling for the ball and the fact that they're looking vertically up, or certainly the player in blue and black is. And I wasn't sure whether he was trying to control the ball from my own personal view, I think they were a bit too close contact for him to try and bring it down and play, especially since the player in white, as someone else said, is trying to wrap his arms around him and he's holding him off by holding his shirt. And I just thought maybe he was just going to punch head it away and to a teammate, and then off he goes on a run or something. So I've gone ever so slightly higher, cross-referencing the two eye lines, and being the ball in the foreground, I think is important as well. It's not dropping completely on top of their heads. It's a little bit towards us. So there we have it. And if I draw a couple of lines in from their noses through the calculated average, again, we've got a 3-4 split from the player in white and a pretty even split, again, 4-3 ever so slightly over to the left and the right. So we have this calculated average here. And there is a little bit of a spread from Wendy's at the bottom to mine at the top, and ever so slightly we have Joe's over to the left, which pulls the average a bit further over. But if I hover over the top, you can see a little bit of Wendy's popping out the bottom, a little bit of my own popping out the top, and a little bit of Joe's popping out to the left. And as I said, or rather that Liam said earlier, it is the position of this calculated average and the four eyes looking up towards the ball. And again, this is a personal thing. I think that's a good calculated average, bearing in mind what we've all said. Some of us think the ball's going to be dropped down and controlled. A couple of people flicking on. My own thinking he might have to do a punch header. So if I can come through you all and see whether you'd like to see, how it looks with someone else's taken out, or et cetera, that would be great. So I'll come to you first, Wendy.
Yeah, I actually really like the average there. I think it's nicely balanced and in the eye lines of both players. So I'd like to keep it as it is.
Okay, thank you. Leo?
Could I see it without Joe's, Matt? Yeah, I think that kind of just lines it up a little bit more with most of the other judges. So I'm going to say take Joe out.
Okay. Hugh?
I'm happy where it is. I think everyone's covered, so I think it's justified, but also it's very close to my own, so I think it's a good average position.
Yeah, thank you. Kieran?
Yeah, I'd have to say, given where I've placed my cross, that I'm happy with where the cross is now.
Yeah. Liam?
Yeah, happy.
Yep. And lastly, Joe?
Yeah, more than happy with where the average is.
Okay, so apart from Leo, who prefers the calculated average with Joe's removed to make it a little bit more central, the rest of us, including myself, are happy with this calculated average as we see it. So Lily, after a good discussion, debate about what we're seeing in the photograph, we decided to judge at this calculated average with all 7 judges taken into consideration.
Thank you. If you're happy, please click submit. Judges, the coordinates selected are X1826Y1193. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditing company as X to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will inform BOTB. That concludes the judging process. Thank you.